Most embarrassing story. This one time I was skating home on my skateboard. I was skating home and I was like right around the block from my house and I crapped myself all over my leg. So, there's my most embarrassing story.
When me and my friend were surfing down at Del Mar, I had to use the restroom and there's none there, so I had to paddle out and do the business.
I was a cheerleader in high school and we were in a competition and it was the final routine, right? And so while we were running to another sequence, I like tripped and fell right in front of everyone and like I heard people laughing.
But my pants the fly won't stay up on today, so that's a really good time.
I don't have one. I don't have one that comes to my mind. Yeah, I'm too cool for embarrassing stories, you know what I mean?
I went on a first date with this girl and went to hug her and she shut me down. She was like, I don't hug on the first date. And then I like shook her hand and then forced a hug anyway.
So yesterday I have a really attractive neighbor and he was grilling ribs on the grill. And he asked me if I wanted some ribs and I was like, no, I don't want any. But then he came back later and I was like, yeah, I do. So he like gave me the rack of ribs and I was trying to cut it and I couldn't cut it. And it took so long that he like took the knife from me and he started trying to cut it and he couldn't cut it. So it ended up being like 5 minutes of us trying to like get a rib for me to eat. And like, it was so embarrassing that he just like gave me the rib and walked away and didn't even say goodbye.
So a couple years back I was working in Nicaragua for a summer and went to a party at the end of the summer with my boss and his family, and they were teaching people how to dance a dance that's typical in Nicaragua, and it's called punta. And so all of a sudden I was like, hey guys, I want to learn how to dance it, but instead of saying punta I said puta, which is a bitch in Spanish.
So my most embarrassing story would be my second year working at Best Buy. I'm terrified of heights, so I was going up the ladder to get a laptop for a customer, and I told my coworker, don't shake the ladder. As I'm going up, he's getting close to the ladder. I told him, don't shake it. I'm up there, he starts shaking it. I literally drop to the ground, the computer goes, falls off the ladder, and I scream, and the whole store hears me. I didn't get fired though, and the computer was fine. Still bought the protection plan though, so at the end of the day, I guess me screaming and everybody laughing at me still got me a sale out of all of it.
Embarrassing story is down in Virginia, there's Ocean City. Actually, it's in Maryland, right?
It's in Maryland.
It's in Maryland. So there's Ocean City. I have some a-hole friends and they left me, like I went in like skinny dipping in the evening, and it was a Saturday night. And I went inside, they took my clothes and ran to the hotel. Hotel's about 1.5 miles away. That is a long ass walk and you do not want to make that naked. And I had to, and I had to walk through the boardwalk. So everybody like saw me completely naked and it was very embarrassing.
I was homeschooled for junior high, and on my first day of going to regular high school, I was going for summer school classes. So I was like super awkward and I just wanted to make friends and I just wanted to like be liked, and it was like my first like public school experience in a while. And I was like walking down the hallway and there's a bunch of people sitting sitting like along the hall, sticking their feet out, and I was walking and one of the guys stuck another foot out totally on accident, but it like tripped me right over and I like literally flew over his legs, skidded across the hallway on my knees and banged my head into a trash can, and there was like 20 people in the hallway watching. And the first thing I did is I looked up and I looked at the guy and I said, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And then I went in the bathroom and cried and my knees were all bloody. It was real bad.
Embarrassing story? I'm trying to think of a good one. When I was in high school, I was part of an animal science program, and it came time to vaccinate a bunch of alpacas that we had on the farm, and my dumbass held the needle at the wrong end and I ended up vaccinating myself against heartworm.
The pond was frozen over and it was a tradition to kind of try to skate on the ice, and I was one of the youngest in the class at the time, so they told me to go out there. And I went out in my rain boots, which were not very high up my leg, and I went onto the ice and just completely fell through up to my waist into this dirty duck pond, and it was disgusting and everyone laughed. I even laughed, and I smelled like a pond for the rest of the day.
Plead the fifth.
Alright, so one time I was like really into this girl from church, and like I've been like crushing on her for like about almost a year. So she invites me to the movies, but she says her parents were gonna be there, but we were gonna be in a separate theater. So when I arrived there, not only were her parents there, but there was another guy at the theater. It was kind of embarrassing because like her parents were there, that guy was there, I was there. I did not know how to feel. It was just like a really dramatic time in my life. I was feeling like a race in my heart, like my heart was just like pumping.
It's a tough one, you know, because you like kind of bury them in the back of your mind. You don't want to remember them.
I went to church with my friends, and it was a very strict Catholic church, and we had to dress up very fancy and wear really pretty dresses and tights and everything. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, I come back, and I'm walking through the little center aisle of the church, and I noticed everyone staring at me. And I was kind of thinking in my head, like, why is everyone looking at me? And I'm like this little like 9-year-old kid or something, really young. And I sit down, and my friend's mom like hits me, and she's like, Marissa, your dress is tucked into your nylon. So like everyone in the entire church saw like my dress tucked into my nylon, so I'll never forget that.
When I was a baby, I pooped in my diapers.
When I was 22, I pooped in my friend's shorts. We were out on a boat, and he lent me some shorts because I didn't have any swim trunks. And so the boat started sinking, and I was laughing so hard, I pooped a little bit.
I have a few of them, so I'm thinking of a good one. Just this morning, I was at my therapist's office, and I had to use the bathroom to do number 2. And as I'm walking out, a woman had to use it, so I felt embarrassed because, you know, I blew it up a little bit. So there you go.
A few years ago, I got twin daughters. So right now they're 20 years old. So they were probably like 11, 10 years old. And we were at Target, and I need to use the restroom. So I told them, listen, in the meantime, mom is not here. I have to leave you guys by yourself. So I need to go to the restroom real quick. So stay here. You know, if you see a stranger and everything, you know, just call me, yell, do something. But I had to go real fast. So they were like, okay. So I just went to the restroom. And I noticed, I look at the wall and everything, it was no stalls or nothing, so I right away just got into, you know, one of the toilets, did number 1, finished. When I opened the door, it was a lady washing her hands. And I was like, oh, so that's why no stalls in the wall. It was a female bathroom. So right away after she washed her hands and everything, I just took off, you know, went outside and everything, and I told the girls, like, you're not gonna believe what happened. So I tell the story and everything, they were laughing. Well, a few minutes later, my wife came in and she said, like, you're not gonna believe what happened to me. I was like, what happened? I was in the bathroom, and it seemed like it was I don't know, I think a guy or something like that. He was peeing beside me, and you can hear the stream so loud. And like, that was me. That was me. So
my embarrassing story is when I spelled my name wrong on a test.
I arrived here in La Jolla 2 days ago, and I brought my adapter from home to plug in my phone and stuff. But it was the wrong one. I picked the wrong one from my cupboard. So I went to Best Buy, I got a new one. And this one was again the wrong one. So I went there again and brought it back, and they wouldn't have the right one. So now I cannot plug my phone, and yeah, that was really embarrassing.
About 3 weeks ago at my house, some of my friends were over, and they played the Magic Mike song by Genuine, My Pony. And I tried to recreate the dance with my husband, and I dislocated my knee in front of all my friends, and no alcohol was involved.
I work in an office building, and I listen to music, and when I'm listening to music I like to groove out sometimes in my cubicle. And this one time my boss snuck up on me and tapped me on the shoulder, and this is like my first corporate job, so this was like super embarrassing for me.
It was a formal party, but not realizing it was a different kind of formal. I thought it was supposed to be an Irish formal, so I'm wearing a kilt and a suit jacket and everything, and it actually was a formal party, but it was like an Irish type of party. So I didn't pretty much fit in there too well with my kilt, but it did steal the night away.
So get really close together. Okay, go ahead.
So yesterday we were about to make chicken nuggets, and 10 minutes after we turned the oven on, I was like, oh man, where does the smoke come from? And then we were like, oh man, the chicken nuggets! And then we ran into the kitchen, opened the oven, and there was everything full of smoke. And so we figured out that because of the different languages, because we're German, and on the package it said like wax paper, and so we thought it was like parchment paper, and so we burned the wax paper, and then the smoke detector went on, and it was so embarrassing because all of the people could hear it.